Hello everyone, dear friends. Welcome to my culinary blog. In today's video, I suggest that you prepare a full menu for the whole day for a large family with me, including breakfast or a snack, lunch and dinner. Everything is prepared easily and simply using accessible ingredients, and it turns out delicious. So let's not delay, let's start cooking. Well, let's start with making khachapuri. It can be served for breakfast and also used as a snack. In a deep bowl, add 100 ml of warm water, 8 g of dry yeast and 10 g of sugar. Mix everything well, cover with plastic wrap, and leave it for about 10-15 minutes to ensure that the yeast is active and that the dough will turn out well. After 15 minutes, a foam should form on top. After that, add a pinch of salt, 1 chicken egg, 20 grams of melted butter, and 80 milliliters of warm milk. Mix everything well. After that, sift the flour in 2 stages. You will need a total of 350 to 400 grams of flour. Everything depends on the dough. In the end, the dough should be very soft and sticky to the hands. Under no circumstances should you overload the dough with flour, otherwise your khachapuri will not turn out fluffy and tasty. First, I add half of the required amount of flour, mix everything with a spatula, and then gradually add the remaining flour, checking the consistency of the dough to see how much it needs. In the end, the dough should have this consistency. It is very soft, as you can see, and very sticky to the hands. This is normal. Leave it right in this bowl. Cover with plastic wrap and place in a warm spot to rise for at least 1 hour. The dough should rise well, at least doubling in size, just like mine. After an hour, I remove the plastic wrap from the dough. Dust the countertop with flour and place the dough on it. It is very sticky, so generously. Sprinkle the work surface with flour and also sprinkle the dough with flour on top. Knead the dough for just 1 minute. No more is needed. The dough turns out soft and is pleasant to work with. We make a ball like this and divide into 2 equal parts. I will get 2 flatbreads. You can make 1 very large one or several smaller ones. I divide it into 2 parts. It's much more convenient this way. I roll out the first part a little, not too thin, to a medium thickness of about 1 to 1.5 centimeters. In the middle, I place approximately 150 grams of grated cheese, any kind you have available. And I carefully gather all the edges to the center. After that, I press down our flatbread like this so that the cheese is distributed across the entire surface. I do the same with the second flatbread. I place it on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Then I brush it with chicken egg yolk on top. I also set aside about 50 grams of grated cheese to sprinkle on top of the flatbreads. This is optional. You can simply sprinkle, for example, with sesame seeds or just leave it as is. But with cheese on top, it also turns out very tasty. In the middle, be sure to make a small hole to let the steam escape. And place it in a preheated oven at 200 degrees for about 15 minutes until it develops a golden aromatic crust. Take the khachapuri out of the oven and let them cool for 5 minutes. Look how soft and fluffy they turn out. And after that, we cut them into pieces. These flatbreads can be prepared in the evening and served for breakfast, or you can make them during the day and take them with you as a snack to work or for the kids to school. The very soft and fluffy dough combined with the warm, stretchy cheese is a delight. Be sure to try making it with this recipe. It turns out very delicious. Next, we proceed to prepare the main dishes and, of course, the first course. For this, I have chicken drumsticks, which I have washed thoroughly, placed in a pot, filled with cold water, and will cook until done. While the meat is boiling, I will prepare all the other ingredients for the soup. I finely chopped 2 small onions. The meat has already started boiling, so be sure to remove all the foam that has formed to keep the broth clean and clear. We sauté the onion in a small amount of vegetable oil until soft. After that, grate the carrot on a coarse grater, add it to the onion, and stew until the vegetables are tender and cooked through. My chicken drumsticks are already boiled, so I take them out of the broth. I will then separate the meat from the bone. I add diced potato to the broth, and I will cook until the potato is done. When the potato is ready, I add the sautéed onion and carrot. I separated the meat from the bone and also added it to the soup. Then I sprinkle in a bit of vermicelli for the soup. After boiling, cook for another 5 minutes. Then add your favorite greens. I use frozen fresh onion. I turn off the stove, cover with a lid, and let the soup infuse for at least 10 minutes. This soup is very easy and simple to make, and it is one of the most beloved in our family. Our children simply adore it. Now let's start preparing the second hot dish. For this, we will need chicken fillet. I have 800 grams. I cut it lengthwise into strips and then into very small cubes. I put everything in a deep bowl. I add about 100 grams of grated cheese. I break 3 chicken eggs into it. Add spices to your taste. Salt, freshly ground pepper. You can also add dried or fresh garlic if you like. And at the very end, we add 2 to 3 tablespoons of semolina. Mix everything well and leave this meat for about 20 or even 30 minutes so that the semolina swells properly. While the meat is resting, I have just peeled the potato and am covering it with cold water. I add a little salt and will cook the potato until done for mashed potatoes. After about 20 minutes, I pour a small amount of vegetable oil into the pan and use a spoon to shape the meat into cutlets. I fry them on medium heat on both sides until they are golden brown. While frying the cutlets, the potato was just ready, and I started making mashed potatoes. I add a bit of milk and salt. Mix it all well, and the mashed potatoes are ready. And with that, all the preparations are done. This is the kind of lunch, dinner, and snack I ended up with, quite varied and tasty. All dishes are very simple to prepare, but they turn out to be very filling, especially for a large family. And that's all, dear friends. This is the menu I came up with today, quite diverse and tasty. And most importantly, as I always say, made with love and for loved ones. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give a thumbs up, it would make me very happy, and stay on our channel. Bye everyone, and see you soon in a new video.